August 14th is the feast day of Saint Maximilien Marie Kolbe. His given name was Raymond, but upon entering the Franciscan seminary, he changed it to Maximilian. He was born in the small Polish village of Zadunska Wola on January 8, 1894. He is admired for the heroic gesture of offering himself to save the life of a parent. It happened on August 3, 1941, at the Auschwitz concentration camp. When a prisoner escaped, 10 others were sentenced to death. Seeing that one of those sentenced to die was a father, Maximilian volunteered to take his place. His request was granted, and he was sentenced to death by starvation. He died on August 14, 1941. The father that was saved by Maximilian noted that he not only died a saint, but also lived as a saint. During his last days spent in prison, Maximilian still found a way to celebrate Mass. In 1917, he launched the Militia of the Immaculate, an association of the faithful dedicated to his return to Poland. He also helped to create different magazines as well as two religious communities known as Cities of the Immaculate, one in Poland and one in Japan. He was a saint who, as John Paul II once said, did not suffer in death, but gave the gift of life.
Okay, Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. I'm just getting a few windows cleaned up. So I wanted to go live a little bit early today just because I have benediction tonight, and I'll be honest, I'm a little tired, worn out, but not too bad. But yeah, today is the feast day of St. Maximilian Kolbe. So even though this is the 20th Sunday of Ordinary Time, we do liturgically, it would be the feast of St. Maximilian Kolbe, the Auschwitz martyr who gave his life to save another. And as those that know the story of Kolbe would know that even though he died on this date, 1941, I think it was, the man that he saved would live through the war and would be present at his canonization by John Paul II. So we just asked St. Maximilian Kolbe to pray for us. But yeah, so there's a lot going on right now. Just trying to think where even to begin. Tomorrow is the Assumption of Our Lady, which normally would be a holy day of obligation, but because the holy day falls on a Monday this year, it's not, the obligation is not there, but we're still celebrating the liturgy for the Assumption. And one of the things that we believe as Catholics is the Assumption is Mary is taking body and soul into heaven at the moment of her death because she never knew sin, because what Christ did on the cross was applied to Mary at her conception, where she was preserved from stain of original sin. And again, you know, it's one of those things that's hard for us to comprehend, but God is outside of time, seeing past, present, future all at the same time. So he's able to do that. It's a one-time privilege, as the document that declares the Immaculate Conception was. So, but one of the things I usually say, and I'll talk about it tomorrow at Mass, is, you know, we as Catholics venerate the saints. We do not worship the saints. We do not put the Mary or Maximilian Kolbe on the same level as Jesus. This gets into the Laetare versus Dulia, the different types of worship, the worship that's given to God alone, and the veneration, adoration that is given to the saints. So one is more elevated than the other. But let me see if I can find the thing I was going to show. Oh, darn, I thought I had it up here. Okay, so the reason I'm mentioning the saints is we do have what is called relics, which are parts, pieces, things that are associated with the saints, whether it's a first-class relic, which is a piece of the bone, piece of hair, piece of the body, basically, and such. So we would say that would be like a first-class relic. A second-class relic is something that was belonging to the saint itself. Again, in most cases, this would be like an object of clothing, stuff like that. I do have a second-class relic of Padre Pio. St. Padre Pio, who died in 1968, I think it was. Then we have third-class relics, which would be things that have touched the tomb or the body of the saint. So my rosary here that I have, this is one of those rugged rosaries. This was touched to the tomb of Venerable Father Emil Kappen, whose funeral I went to last year. The priest that died during the Korean War was martyred, although it's not officially declared to be a martyr, but was martyred during the Korean War. So we do have relics of the saints. And outside of Pittsburgh, a little bit north of Pittsburgh, where I lived, there is a shrine dedicated to these relics. It is the largest collection of relics outside the Vatican. There's like 5,000 of them at St. Anthony's Chapel. And it's a, oops, almost closed the wrong window. So let's take a look at this. So 5,000 relics, 800 relic cases, which are reliquariums. Some of the documents are over 200 years old. So you have the bones of St. Francis of Rome, St. Philip Neri, St. Stephen the First Martyr. Those documents are from 1796. Now, how that happens, I don't know. But again, but it truly is a beautiful chapel. They have like the relics of the 12 apostles. They have the relics of the first 100 popes, I think it is. The one relic they do not have would be anything of Mary, Mother of God. And the reason we call her Mary, Mother of God, comes from the Third Council of Chalcedon. Let's see, so Nicaea is in 325 AD. Constantinople, the First Council of Constantinople, was in 381. Ephesus would be 435, and I believe it's at Ephesus, so the Third Council of the Church, where the term Theotokos, Mother of God, the Greek term Theos, Tokos, Mother of God, is applied to Mary. And again, we believe at the moment of her death, she's taken body and soul into heaven. So we don't have any relics of Our Lady. And it's not saying that's the reason why we believe she was taking body and soul into heaven. But anyway, but yeah, north of Pittsburgh is a wonderful shrine. Let's see what else there was on this. So this would be like the relic. Well, that's a monstrance. That's our Lord there. Anyway. 5,000 relics, largest collection outside of the Vatican. So that is that. Man of War is in the chat. Good to see you. Safe travels to you and the missus this week as you head to Vegas. As I put on Twitter today, and I tagged Gary. Let me bring this up on my Twitter feed. So one of my parishioners framed the Dallas meetup poster that we just had in June, and I'm pretty happy with it. Kind of see the colors of the frame and the mat that they did. So I really wish I could be there on Wednesday, I think it is the meetup. But as I mentioned, our first day of school is on Tuesday. And normally it would be tomorrow, but because tomorrow is the holy day of obligation, the schools in our diocese are closed on the holy day. So we are starting up on Tuesday. So Tuesday is going to be a busy day because not only do I have the daily mass, but I also have the welcome mass for our grade school kids. And then at our high school, we'll have all school mass. Now, our school is one of the bigger schools in the diocese. It's the only high school in our city, the only Catholic high school in our city, and it's about a school of about 1,200. So my first day classes of teaching will be on Tuesday, short period, because it's an introductory period. I think I have about 40 students this year, 43 students. One class, there's like 23. The other class, there's 21, 22. So little bit different. Normally in the past, I've had three sections of about 30 students each. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'm excited to be going back to teaching. So, but one of the downsides is I will not be able to make it to Dallas this year for Nerdrotics meetup. I do take great pleasure in being able to make it last year, so I'm very excited about that. But the other thing I was going to mention too is this article that was in. Oh, there it is. Jumping back just a little bit. This was an article. I have a few articles lined up. So this is from the Smithsonian Magazine talking about St. Anthony's Chapel again. So I guess it was in 1891 this church was established. And I do love the Smithsonian. I haven't had a chance to look at this. So, but the altar, let's see. So today it's on Troy Hill, North Pittsburgh. There is wooden pieces from the Last Supper table, the full skeleton of Saint Demetrius. Let's see, the altar. Okay, 22 splinters of the True Cross. Again, scrap of the Virgin Mary's veil, bones from all 12 of Jesus' apostles, and this most prized relic would be, I guess, I hope I understand this correctly, I don't remember it, but a molar from St. Anthony. So, yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so our school year starts on Tuesday. I'm in the Midwest, farming country. So our schools start early and we do end by the end of May, usually around the time of the Ascension. So, but there was an article that I saw yesterday from John Trent, Bounding into Comics, talking about Eric Larson from Image Comics. So I did not know he was one of the co-founders of Image Comics. I only know Eric Larson from his Savage Dragon. I'm going to bring that up in the background. Hold on. Okay, so we'll bring that up after we look at this article. So Eric Larson says America will only begin healing if Donald Trump is executed for treason on the White House lawn. My original tweet to him was healing for who? Because, you know, I'm not a MAGA person. I'm not a diehard Trump fan. I try to remain unpolitical in this, but I can tell you that that would definitely not be healing for those that I know that support Trump. It actually would probably flame the flames, flame the fire, that's for sure. So, oh, he does have it here. So this is so this was basically his solution for America in response to the FBI's raid last Monday. And this is his cover of Savage Dragon. I am, yeah, pay no attention to Larson. Thank you, Man of War. Why am I supposed to buy this comic? I'm Malcolm Dragon, and I endorse Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for Vice President and Vice President of America. He also did this comic of Bad Man, Orange Man Bad. So what happened was, let me see if I can bring up the Twitter tweet. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so this is what I tweeted. Oh, okay. That was originally. Yeah, so I'm blocked by Eric Larson, mostly because I mocked his Savage Dragon covers of Biden and Kamala, along with the Orange Man Bad. And Larson did a comic a number of years ago endorsing Obama. So I got blocked, and honestly, I don't really care. So let's see. It's scary how often the media either pretends half the country doesn't exist or actively demonizes them. Yeah. Now, I will say I grew up in Iowa. I mentioned it before. I'm originally from the Hawkeye State, which is the home of the first caucus. And I probably mentioned it every 4 years is interesting because you usually want to throw a brick at the TV by the end of December. I will bring up one of my, this will get into a little bit of politics here, but I'll bring it up. I got to find the picture. So I was working for a political consulting firm before I entered the seminary. And we did do a lot of work during the caucus. For me, it was mostly in 2000. This is hard to believe, but this picture is from 22 years ago. I was 2000, so I would have been 26. This was 2 years before I entered the seminary. And I got to meet W when he was running. So this was at a campaign event that we were working in Iowa. So I got to meet W when he was running for president. Got my picture with him. I do have an autograph of Bush. Tuesday is going to be interesting because Bush's running mate, Cheney, his daughter's up for re-election in the primary in Wyoming, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, but honestly, I'm sick of all politics. You got the Trump deranged syndrome on one side, and you got the ultra MAG on the other side. I'm sick of both. So, anyway, I'll bring up one other picture from 2008. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, let's bring that up. Tomorrow's show. So this one was from 2008 when I was home for Christmas break. This was when I was a deacon, and I never go to events if I can in my clerics, mostly again to avoid it. So Romney was this is like a week or two before the caucuses in Iowa. I'm home on Christmas break. I went to a Mitt Romney event. Let me see. I'll bring up one last one of that. And this one I'm actually pretty happy with. Okay, so again, being a deacon, I didn't go. I wore my black sweater. God rest his soul, Fred Thompson. I went to one of his events. So, and you know, again, the people might think I'm being partisan on this. I'm not. I did go to a number of Democrat events too. I don't go in my clerics just because I don't want to be recognized as authority of the church, giving credence to either side. So, but yeah, that's about what's going on this week. Tuesday is school. I'm debating whether I'm going to play in a golf outing tomorrow. We have a Catholic tournament for our cemeteries. The cemetery group's having a Catholic golf outing. I'm debating whether I'm going to play. Only problem is I don't really want to give up 5 hours. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. But Tuesday is school. Wednesday, I am switching my day off this week just because, again, Tuesday is the first day of school. We're not going to take the first day of school off for our day off. So I'll have Wednesday off. Thursday and Friday will be the second and third day of school. I'm going to try to do the stream with the rabbi this week. Hopefully. It's going to have to be an early stream because my first class is at 9:30 in the morning. So the weekly stream with the rabbi is going to have to become an every other week unless we can find a different time or a day that works. But that's about that. So other than that, as I mentioned on Friday, I saw Bullet Train last week. Loved it. Got Bosco down there. She really wants to be played with right now. Let me bring up the poster. Oh, where the... excuse me. See, this is why I'm streaming early today. Tired. There we go. Let's bring that up. Oops. Okay, I guess that's not letting me do that. Okay, so it almost showed where I'm at. Let's bring that back a little bit. Okay, so this was the poster for Bullet Train. You got Brad Pitt in the main lead. You got these two characters as assassins. Pretty much everybody in this poster is an assassin. And that's really not giving away anything. That's not really a spoiler. So I enjoyed it. I went to see it on the screen that's between the regular screen and IMAX. So it was whatever thing in the middle is. It is definitely R-rated language. There is one scene that's a little naughty. But language and violence. And it's kind of like a cartoonish violence, kind of like Deadpool, which when you consider it's made by the guy that directed Deadpool 2. Yeah, as Mark says, say a prayer for Salman Rushdie. I don't agree with his religious views, but he shouldn't be assassinated either. And, you know, the funny thing about that is I think it was Dan Rather or somebody was saying they're trying to figure out the motive of the attacker. I'm 48. I think the Satanic Verses came out in 88, so I would have been, I'm horrible at math, I probably would have been 14, but I remember the brouhaha because the Ayatollah Khomeini was calling for his death, issued a fatwa, and yeah, he had to go into hiding. He had to have protection. They don't forget. So, and yeah, he is from Jersey. He's an American born, I believe, son of immigrants. Became radicalized online. So, but yeah, supposedly he's going to lose an eye. Some of the nerves in his arm was severed, stabbed in the liver, I think. So hopefully that's not going to be a life-threatening thing, although I know that's not good. But that happened on Friday, I believe it was. So even though I don't agree with him, like Mark says, we do pray for his recovery. So that's about all I got for this week. Again, just a short stream today. I just wanted to do it because last Sunday we had the Walk for Hunger, and we ended up bringing in 11,000 pounds of food. Pretty excited about that. Our bishop was pretty excited. The Catholic Social Services were very excited. It's one of the biggest food collections we had. So that happened last Sunday. I figured by the time I got back, after being out in the 90-degree sun, I was a little too warm. I wouldn't be surprised if it was North Jersey. I've been in both parts of Jersey. I know once you get to the Hoboken area, Newark area, it's pretty much nonstop city all the way up to the New York border. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's from that part of Jersey onward. So, and yeah, they were dancing when 9/11. Oh, okay. I didn't know that they were dancing in America when 9/11 happened. I don't remember that. I knew that they did that in the Middle East. So, but with that, I'm going to wrap up. I did subscribe to Paramount Plus. I'm doing the free trial just because I wanted to watch the South Park 25th anniversary concert. Definitely R-rated. But with the free preview, I'm working my way through Strange New Worlds, which, as I probably have mentioned, I actually enjoyed the first episode when it was on YouTube a few months back. I'm going to give the season a try. I'm going to try to binge it over the next few days. Tomorrow I have no school because, again, with the holy day, so I can do that tomorrow. Probably do that on Wednesday. It's only like 10 episodes for the first season, I think. So going to do that. But Wednesday is the meetup in Vegas. Again, safe travels to those that are going. I'm jealous, but again, I'm glad I went last year. I know that they have the whole bar to themselves this year. Should be interesting. So with that, I'll wrap up. I'll talk to you all again soon. Till next time.